Hello everyone, my name is Marina and this is Tribecast episode 6. While the weather in Tampere cannot really decide if it's already spring, the startup ecosystem is much more stable, and by stability, I mean constant changes and challenges, adventures and events, which I will discuss with my today's guests. This week I've recorded an interview with Timur Antic from the city of Tampere and one more interview with Tommy Witti from Business Tampere. And in between of the interviews, I'll tell you a short story that will include media, Helsinki, freedom of speech, networking and honey. My name is Marina. This is Tribecast. Let's get started. And now let me greet Timur Antic from the city of Tampere, who has come to talk to us today. Hello, Timur.
Hello.
Can I ask you to tell in a few words about yourself? Where do you work? What's your background?
Yeah, I work for city of Tampere. I'm in charge of business development there in our economic department. I've been living in Tampere already most of my life. Been studying here at the University of Technology here first, and then serving companies in this region. I have been also startup entrepreneur a long time ago, and before I came to Tampere, I was working serving business Finland 5 years and in charge of invest in development and invest in actions in Finland.
Can you please generally comment on the cooperation of the city of Tampere and the startup ecosystem? Does this cooperation exist? Let's start from this.
Yeah, I think that we have very good relations with this ecosystem at the moment, and we are currently we have been developing cooperation with all the parties belonging this system. Let's say past 2 years, over 2 years. And this is one of our key themes in the Tampere city strategy at the moment, to develop the ecosystem here. So I think that it's getting better all the time.
And in your opinion, how can the city of Tampere help the startup ecosystem grow?
Yeah, that's very common challenge in every city, I would say. Everyone would like to develop the ecosystem. We currently have here a program we call that Startup Alliance, which we do together with Pirkanmaa region and also University of Tampere, and also the ELY Center of Tampere and some other parties as well. And we have a common understanding and interest to increase very much amount of new startups in region. We have initiated a program how we can reach this part of this program, and results which will be seen this year is that we are setting up a new entire building for startups in the center of the Tampere. And we believe that this center will be very important point to attract new entrepreneurship in this city, as well as it can attract Europe-wide also companies to join our ecosystem.
Speaking of attracting Europe-wide, I know that the city of Tampere is one of active supporters of the Startup World Cup. Could you please make a small teaser for our listeners what to expect from this event? Will you personally be present there, by the way?
I will personally be present as well there. And we see this event a great opportunity for Tampere and for Finland. We expect this year more companies joining. Last year already, which was first time here, it was a very positive way surprising us, because we had no more than some weeks time to prepare the event. Can we have this event at Tampere? And I think it was less than 1 month we decided, and we made all this happen. And surprisingly, there were hundreds of people present, so it was a success first time. And this year we expect it will be more successful.
Okay, that looks really promising. So yeah, let's hope it will be a great success, and it's definitely one of the biggest events. and also Tribe community is organizing pre-event called Tribex. Let me remind you that in the next episodes of Tribecast we'll have more people from the organizers and speakers, so please follow us. Speaking of other projects by the city of Tampere, I know that there is this project called Nordic Startup School, organized in cooperation with Golden Gateway.
Yes, you are right. Nordic Startup School has been done together with Business Tampere, and Business Tampere is organization company which is owned by the region. Majority is owned by the city of Tampere, and we are funding this to happen through the Business Tampere.
Okay, so you're the guys who choose what happens and how there.
You are right. Every year we made a plan together with Business Tampere, and we order them to do projects and things here to develop business in this area.
Speaking of development, how would you generally estimate the nowadays situation with the startup ecosystem in Tampere? Is it on the rise, or is there some kind of downhill situation, or what's going on there?
I would say that if we just measure it by number of companies which has been born, in that way there can be a little bit downhill, because as we all know that when Nokia and Microsoft had these shutdown programs here during past years, they put a lot of effort to new business generation in this area, and that can be seen as a peak in amount of newborn companies in this region. On the other hand, at the activity point of view, what has happened now here when for instance Tribe has begun operating here, we have had much more activities here than in the past, and the most important thing is that it looks me that we are now doing things together much more better than before.
In your opinion, what are the biggest challenges for early stage startups in nowadays Tampere and Finland maybe?
To become important and successful, I don't see there is anything which prevents to do. We always have been talking about funding, that do we have funding enough? But I personally believe that has gone also to better direction. I would like to say that if a business idea and the business potential is tangible in the new company and it has a good strategy, good pitch, I would say that funding is not a problem. Today, international VCs are scanning through all the region, through all Europe. We have seen that the Nordic area, Scandinavian and Finland has been very successful in past years to attracting VC money, and there are very big success stories also has been born in this area. So I would say that it's not preventing. Maybe in Finland we still need improvement to promote more general way entrepreneurship. It has been not so popular in Finland in the past decades, but today it seems that the younger people are considering entrepreneurship more and more, and there are more entrepreneurship studies, training available in universities, in schools, every level, and this makes our people more skillful to make this kind of success stories much better way than earlier.
And in your opinion, what are the ways to promote entrepreneurial spirit, let's say, in Finland and nowadays? Is it more about networking? Is it more about projects like Nordic Startup School? Is it we have like these super big events like Startup World Cup when people hear about it in the media and they're like, yeah, I can join it in some years if I start my company? Or is it more like university or something else?
There are many levels. I think that all these big events are very important. Maybe we need to promote entrepreneurship already at all level in schools. So we have events in Tampere, for instance, which are directed to secondary level already, and to bring the idea much more at all the levels. But of course, I think what I would like to see is that we don't have too many big success stories in entire Finland yet. So when we can have more big exits like Supercell type of things, these are maybe the best examples and makes people to be interested that I would like to do something like that myself, and that will attract people a lot.
And speaking of the future, if we analyze the nowadays situation of startup ecosystem, do you think that we can have a new Nokia in a couple of years? Or is it more like, people doing their small, stable businesses and don't really want to go high up?
I think that that people would like to go high up more in the future. So everything is coming more global, and information can be shared very fast everywhere, and teams can be made international much better than earlier. Earlier it has been not possible at all, but now every type of information is available immediately. And I have heard also in Finland such stories that there are startups teams which are set up such way that there are team members, all of them are from the different countries. And there are amazing stories how they have found themselves. They have had a common interest to do certain thing, and then somehow through the internet world they have found themselves and set up a team, and they are now running a company. And I think that kind of world will change a lot in the future.
If we take international entrepreneurs, in your opinion, what would be the main reason for someone to move from their own country and start or move their business to Finland? What's the most attractive in Finland business-like?
I would say that in attraction point of view, there's some kind of exotic atmosphere here in North. That's one reason, and these are the soft values, that it's maybe nice to see what's the life like here. But also I would say that the high-level education and the skills will be the way to attract people to come here and work here with Finns and the Finnish companies. And of course, for instance, here in Tampere, I believe that our industry and our industry background, long historical background, we have still very strong industry clusters here, like machinery moving on wheels, which well kept secret, but it's maybe the largest ecosystem like that in entire Europe. And around this we are currently building here startup things. We will have this year later Accelerator program, for instance, which is focusing this type of industry. And industry is very seems to be very voluntary to open their R&D for new ideas. And when we can market this, let's say Europe-wide at least, but maybe worldwide, that we have big industrial stock-listed companies, they are searching new ideas, please come here, innovate together with these companies. I think this will be very good attraction of Tampere in the future.
That sounds interesting. I have probably two more questions. You mentioned an accelerator program that you start later this year. Could you have a few words about that one?
Yes, we have had here a different type of accelerator programs running in the city, which have been city funded. Last 2 years we had a called program Accelerator, which was focused on media sector companies. When we have been planning this, our future, we have seen that we would like to now this year focus on industrial sector, and we see this an opportunity, because if we are thinking that startup companies would like to get their first deals, what would be the better way than get big industrial clients to be working with them? They can, and one idea with this accelerator program, we can say it's some kind of venture client type of program. We would like to open this invitation to Europe widely and ask companies to come here and join our program here. And same time we would like to offer also opportunity to stay here at Tampere. We are just later this year opening this new startup building here, and there will be premises also available for the international companies, startup companies as well to land here at Tampere.
Okay, so technically a company can apply to this accelerator via City of Tampere or Business Tampere webpage?
Business Tampere will be we are just selecting operator. Operator will be closed in April, and together with Business Tampere.
Great, and I will be more than happy to interview the participants. And I have one last question for you for today, Timo. In your opinion, what kind of startup has more potential of being successful nowadays? One which is more like digital and more like talking, for example, like marketing or something, or one which is actually doing something more like physical, like a food startup or producing, I don't know, colorful paper or whatever?
What I have heard recently is that early